today, beautiful people? Happy Saturday. Shalom, Audrey. Shalom, shalom. All right, y'all. I'm ready to get back to this book of OAHSPE. I was watching a video yesterday on YouTube, and it looked like, well, it didn't look like it was. For some reason, I gotta make sure I keep this adjusted the right way, because when I look at the video, you can only see like from this portion of my chin up, like from my bottom lip up. I'm like, it don't look like that from my end. I don't know. It's weird. So let me just hold on. Make sure I just move this down a little bit more so it don't look like it's all distorted like that. Divine blessings. Okay, so maybe I need to make sure my shoulders can show a little bit more. I don't know. Hopefully that's good. All right, beautiful people. Happy Saturday. It is day 120 of year 4 of reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets and of the 4-year consecutive day count. Day 1138. We're hopping back over in the OAHSPE on page 139, picking up in the book of OAHSPE. And then, if we get time today, if we don't choose to keep on reading through the book of OAHSPE, we get to the meditation book, right? And I keep moving this over on page 154. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how good is going to be today, if we're going to keep reading, if we want to see it all the way through today. All right, y'all. So let's get started here. All right. Father, we thank you for the wonderful truths that you reveal to us on a daily basis. That's why we keep showing up. We keep on searching because we want to know the truth. And here we are. We're here for it again today. All right, y'all. Chapter 7, page 139 of the OAHSPE. Who shall tell the story of the gods of heaven? That might be our chapter today. Hold on. Our title for today. That might be. I don't know. It depends. Let's keep on going. Who shall tell the story of the gods of heaven, their mighty kingdoms overspreading the whole earth, hundreds and hundreds and thousands, their libraries of records of glorious and holy deeds, a council chamber of 500,000 souls, hundreds of departments, thousands, here aboard to select young students to the colleges of messengers. Hold on, let me turn this fan off. Here aboard to select young students to the colleges of messengers, another board to select students to the College of Arts, another to select students to mathematics, another for prophecy, another for great learning, another for factories, another for compounding and dissolving elements. Then come the departments of the cosmology of the stars, then of the ethereal worlds, then the roadways of the firmament, then Aji and Gia, and Nubala, then Simu, then Hydan and Dan, then the dawn of Dan, then histories of corporal affairs, and of the affairs of the heavens far and near, and then genealogy of thousands of Orion chiefs, the creation of mineral, vegetable, and animal kingdoms, yea, but to enumerate the half of what cometh before a God and his council would itself fill a book. Who then, O Jehovah, shall venture to tell the labor and wisdom of thy Ethereal gods? How shall the second resurrection give up its mysteries? Shall thy recorder follow the young student for messenger and disclose the training put upon him? How, like a carrier dove, he is taught to go from place to place, but holding the message in his head. Then follow the student in another department and make a record of how he is taught, and of the multitude of questions that come before the council from far off places. Bella, can you turn that down a little bit? Then the rites and ceremonies and the unending variety and magnificence of the music. Can a man describe 1,000,000 men and women and children, 100,000,000, 1,000,000,000, 5,000,000,000? Who hath seen so great a man to do this? And yet this is but thy lower heaven, O Jehovah. A strange voice riseth up from earth, saying, have they anything to do in heaven, O ye gods? And one half of the earth born coming hither in infancy, and the countless millions who know little more than the beasts of the field, to be falsely taught that these unfortunates would skip off to paradise and possess great learning in the hour of death. Hold on, let me read that again. A strange voice riseth up from the earth, saying, have they anything to do in heaven, O ye gods? And one half of the earth born coming hither in infancy, and the countless millions who know little more than the beasts of the field, to be falsely taught that these unfortunates would skip off to paradise and possess great learning in the hour of death. Oh, that their understanding could be opened up to thy kingdoms, thou all-extending Creator, that their eyes could look upon the greatness of even thy lower heaven, to behold 1,000 departments reaching as wide as the earth, and then the hundreds of thousands of branch departments of hundreds of grades, adapted to every soul that riseth up from the earth. Oh, that they could look into the dark places in atmosphere, that they could see 1,000,000 souls plunged in chaos by terrible war, crazed spirits, wild and battling, not knowing they are dead. The ceaseless toil of 1,000,000 nurses and physicians, laboring day and night with them. Oh, the darkness upon them. Oh, the glory of thy exalted ones. Who is there, having seen the magnificence of thy glories, will not bestir himself every moment to lift up his brother and point the way to thy throne? Oh, that they could see thy swift gods of dawn, how they hear 100 tongues at one time, and frame answers for all of them, and by a motion of the hand, dispatch messengers to fulfill the same in words, how they select officers to know 100 at a glance, and know where to place them, that every one shall fit his place. Who is there, O Father, can frame into words the proceedings of heaven, so that mortals can comprehend even a fraction of thy great glories? Shall a man light a candle and say it representeth the sun? How then shall they find the affairs of mortals comparable to thy kingdoms? Oh, that they knew the meaning of the difference betwixt all light and the darkness of man's judgment. Oh, that they knew thee, thou central sun of all light. They have put away thy person, and they go in any direction. Thy great gods are but myths to them because of the darkness of their souls. Behold, they look for a small man with a large sword. The power of great wisdom they know not, that they could behold the coming and going of thousands of messengers from far off kingdoms before the throne of thy God. How he hath answered their matters suddenly, and the while heeded the voices of 1,000 marshals. Oh, that man knew the glory of order, the power of harmony. They have seen a clock with 100 wheels, and the eye of its maker overseeing its every part in motion, and they call it wonderful. But how can they know thy counsels, O Jehovah, thy millions, and thy God on his throne, mantled in thy light, overseeing a whole heaven? What majesty of words can make mortals comprehend his wisdom and power and great labors? Chapter 8. Jen, shalom. Oh, great spirit, you are one. Let us come into the oneness of you. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. Chapter 8. Tiffany. Hey, girl. Hey. Peace and blessings. Thus Osiris established Vibraj the resplendent heaven with 1,800 sub-kingdoms in atmosphere, all under the commandments of the central kingdom. And then he established the roadways between them and appointed 700,000 messengers. After that, he ordained proper officers for intercommunion, and the several sub-kingdoms established their places of learning and places of labor, their hospitals and nurseries, and their innumerable Asaphs, the receivers of Essenes, the newborn spirits of the dead of earth. Osiris said, Behold, there is order in heaven. Now will I appoint a God to hold dominion 200 years. For whilst the dawn of Dan yet remaineth, I will assist him. Let the examiners search, then, amongst my host, from such as sprang from the earth, such one as standeth clear on the record and chief in rank. So the examiners searched, and after 30 days they selected Conas. When Osiris was informed, he sent 1,000 of his own attendants in an overtan, in an otavan, and they brought Conas to Vibraj to Jehovah's throne. Osiris said, Greetings in the name of the Father. Thou art chosen above all others, and after the dawn of Dan is ended, thou shalt be God of heaven and earth for 200 years. Before the ascent of my host and of myself, behold, I will crown thee. Till then, thou shalt sit on my throne and fill my place while I am absent. I now have restored order in heaven, having given all the inhabitants a single purpose and concert, whereby their resurrection is surely founded. Now will I go down to the false Lord's kingdom on earth, and to the mortal kings and queens, and restore order there also. Conas said, Thy will and Jehovah's be done. I am exalted and rejoiced in what is bestowed upon me. Make me strong and wise, O Jehovah, that I may glorify thy kingdoms. So after due preparation, Osiris departed privately, taking with him 100,000 attendants, going down to the earth and to the false Lord's kingdom in the cities and temples of mortals. 7 days Osiris spent traveling round about the earth, visiting angels and mortals, but telling none who he was or what was his object. And then he halted his otavan, which had been built for the purpose, in the regions of the mountains of Weont-Kawo. WEONT-KA-WOH. That might be in our title today. Weont-Kawo. Okay. Weont-Kawo. I'll go back and read the whole verse again. Mom, shalom, shalom. 7 days Osiris spent traveling round about the earth, visiting angels and mortals, but telling none who he was or what was his object. And then he halted his otavan, which had been built for the purpose, in the regions of the mountains of Weont-Kawo in western Japheth. He said, Weont-Kawo shall be my headquarters for a season. Here, then, will I found the first Lord's kingdom for mortals, and inasmuch as mortals have made an idol of Apollo, so will I cast down Apollo and make them know that I, Osiris, am Lord of the earth. Then spake Wetang, saying, Behold the glory of Jehovah from the first. In our journey around the earth, we have found the Ehings, not idolaters, but still worshippers of the great spirit Jehovah. But as to the half-breeds, who can understand them? They believe nothing. They believe everything. It sound like us, huh? I mean, not us here, but humans as a whole, right? Listen. Let me just read it again. Start verse 10 over. Behold, the glory of Jehovah from the first. In our journey around the earth, we have found the Ehings, not idolaters, but still worshippers of the great spirit Jehovah. But as to the half-breeds, who can understand them? They believe nothing. They believe everything. They ask the idol for rain and for dry weather. for strength to slay the droops, for flesh to eat, and for famine to be visited on their enemies. That's definitely the humans. They are as living prey for Drawlz to feast on. They invite the darkness of all evil and to do their wills in return. The Drawlz, the evil spirits, busy themselves inoculating the air with poison to kill their enemies. Osiris said, with the Ehins we have little to do, but as to the Gons and the Ehuans, they shall be converted into believers. Osiris said, with the Ehins we have little to do, but as to the Gons and the Ehuans, they shall be converted into disbelievers of the presence of all spirits, save two, Jehovah and Satan. To accomplish which end I would give them 3 figures, the signs of seasons, which shall represent the Creator in all the parts of the living, the sign of the sun with motion and all life coming forth, and the hand of man. And after the signs of seasons, after seasons, it has reference letter B. And that is at the end of this chapter, and it says, oh, phew, okay, wait a minute, hold on. This might help me a little bit in my studies of some stuff I'm looking at. Okay, for seasons, on page 146 down the bottom portion of the page, B, Zodiac is called sometimes the signs of the seasons. The Osirian religion was really the directing of man's attention to the power and grandeur of corporal worlds. In other words, the god Osiris's labor was to call mortals away from idol worship and make them scientists. Well, we kind of be saying that we kind of a little bit like scientists. I ain't said it in a little while, but on some of my earlier videos, I said we kind of like scientists a little bit. This is good. Listen, hold on. Let me start this over. Zodiac is called sometimes the signs of the seasons. The Osirian religion was really the directing of man's attention to the power and grandeur of corporal worlds. In other words, the god Osiris's labor was to call mortals away from idol worship and make them scientists. Further on, some 5,000 or 6,000 years, it will be seen that even Osiris became an idol, being worshipped as the sun. See Book of Safa, 1882 edition. That we know to be the truth, right? Because especially when you first heard the name Osiris, based on what we knew before we knew what was in here, we thought, okay, another Egyptian or Babylonian god, whichever one I forget which one he was. But that's the first, at least in when I'm like, oh, they got Osiris in here too? When I first got it, was flipping through, I'm like, okay, I'm going to see it through, right? Okay. So, but originally, according to this, Osiris is not that deity that was worshipped, although they did, just like they did Apollo, they turned him into a deity, but that's not who Apollo really was. Apollo, according to this, was a worshiper of the one great spirit, the one true living creator, right? As was Osiris. Same thing. Okay, chapter 9. Through Osiris, Jehovah said, I created man with a corporal life, that he might learn corporal things. But behold, the Ehuans have lost all energy to acquire earthly knowledge, depending on their familiar spirits. Depending. Okay, let me start over. Through Osiris, Jehovah said, Jehovah said, I created man with a corporal life, that he might learn corporal things. But behold, the Ehuans have lost all energy to acquire earthly knowledge, depending on their familiar spirits for information on everything. Definitely still doing that today. See, a lot of people still doing that today, right? Some of them are called mediums, right? They got to tap into the spirits to see what's going on. But if you were seeking things out, some things you would begin to recognize. You will understand laws, and you will personally begin to understand how certain things were, right? First time, greetings from Chicago. Give thanks to the Most High Creator of all the creation, the judge, the juror, the only one worthy of worshiping, praising, thanking, remembering, learning, etc. Amen. Shayla G. That's wild boo. All right, y'all. I feel like something is crawling. Sorry, y'all. I feel like I keep touching my face. Okay. All right. Let me read the sentence again. Okay. Through Osiris, Jehovah said, I created man with a corporal life that he might learn corporal things. But behold, the Ehuans have lost all energy to acquire earthly knowledge, depending on their familiar spirits for information on everything, thereby wasting their mortal lives in non-improvement. Non-improvement, right? I mean, you ain't moving. It's almost just like waiting on Jesus, right? You become immobilized, thereby wasting their mortal lives in non-improvement, so that when they die and enter heaven, they are easily made slaves of by evil spirits. Better were it for them had they no knowledge of spirit life, that they might be put to service, that they might put to service the talents I created within them. Let me read that again. Hold on. Better were it for them had they no knowledge of spirit life, that they might put to service the talents I created within them. See to this matter, O my sons and daughters, for their desire for the presence of the spirits of the dead will draw fetals upon themselves, and they will go down in darkness like the ancients. The voice departed, and then Osiris said, Hear me, O brothers, O sisters, this is my commandment upon you, and to you to render unto your successors after such a time as I shall call you for the resurrection. Possess ye the temples and oracles where the familiar spirits speak, neither suffer ye familiars to come more to kings, nor queens, nor governors, nor to leaders, nor rulers of men, but take ye possession of all such, and answer ye the corporeans with corporean knowledge only, and that ye may be as a unit unto mortals. Give ye all the same name, even Jehovah, through his son Osiris. For when ye answer at the oracle, or in the altar or temple, they will ask who the Spirit is, and ye shall say, Osiris, son of Jehovah, doing this in my name and the Father's. And when ye speak by entrancement through the seers and prophets, also assert the same thing. And they will ask, Why has the Son of Jehovah come to us? And ye shall say, Because ye are an idolatrous people, worshiping before stone and wood, whereby evil spirits take advantage of you and rule you to your own hurt. And they will reason amongst themselves, saying, How know we then that thou thyself be not an evil spirit? And ye shall say, It is well that ye ask this, for I declare unto you, ye shall not worship Osiris, but only Jehovah the Creator. This doctrine only is saved. So it's saying, okay, you telling us this, but how we know you're not an evil spirit speaking through him? He said, well, so that you will know you don't worship me. Although I'm Osiris speaking through this prophet, you don't worship me. You worship Jehovah, the great spirit, the only creator, right? That sounds familiar. We'll keep on reading. Again, they will say, Who is Satan and his attendants? Ye shall answer, Whoever professeth any name save the great spirit is of Satan, which pertaineth to self. Now whilst ye are thus reasoning with them, certain ones in the temples will be worked by the familiar spirits, writhing and twisting. And ye shall say to the next akin, Behold, I will tell thee how to cast out the evil spirit. Thou shalt say, I charge thee in the name of Jehovah to depart. And it shall come to pass that they will do this, and at the time they use the words, in the name of Jehovah depart, ye shall drive hence the familiars, thus proving the power of Jehovah greater than all spirits. So, demon possession is simply a possession, at least from my understanding from everything now and reading this portion right here. We know that familiars and fetals and druhas are human spirits, right? Spirits who used to be alive in the flesh, who have departed the flesh, but they just kind of linger around in that first level of heaven. And those are the ones who just kind of attach themselves back to the people who are still living in the flesh here. Those are what you call, from Christian terminology, demons, right? So to cast them fetals out, or them humans, when people get demon possessed, it's not like this little black demon creature animal. No, it's a human who's attached themselves, and we need to cast that person out of here. Get out of here, Druha, familiar, fetal, whatever you call it, in whatever language, in whatever region of the world. We know you used to be human. Go on, get out of here. Get where you're supposed to be, right? Yeah, they do some major damage down here to people who are still in the flesh, right? But for some reason, when that happens, you have allowed yourself to be inhabited by them, right? So you got to be careful. You really do. It is a real, demon possession is a real thing. It really is. Okay. Let me read this again. I'm going to go back up. Let me just go back a little bit more to verse 8. Verse 7. And when ye speak by entrancement through the seers and prophets, also assert the same thing. And they will ask, why has the Son of Jehovah come to us? And ye shall say, because ye are an idolatrous people, worshiping before stone and wood, whereby evil spirits take advantage of you and rule you to your own hurt. And they will reason amongst themselves, saying, How know we then that thou thyself be not an evil spirit? And ye shall say, It is well that ye ask this, for I declare unto you, ye shall not worship Osiris, but only Jehovah the Creator. This doctrine only is safe. Again, they will say, Who is Satan and his attendants? Ye shall answer, Whoever professeth any name, save the great spirit, is of Satan, which pertaineth to self. Now whilst ye are thus reasoning with them, certain ones in the temples will be worked by the familiar spirits, writhing and twisting, and ye shall say to the next akin, Behold, I will tell thee how to cast out the evil spirit. Thou shalt say, I charge thee in the name of Jehovah to depart. And it shall come to pass, they will do this, and at the time they use the words, in the name of Jehovah depart, ye shall drive hence the familiars, thus proving the power of Jehovah greater than all spirits. But that this matter may spread rapidly and be valued highly, impart the name of the great spirit in secret, not suffering them to speak it aloud. Choose ye therefore certain mortals, and ordain them through the king, and their labor shall be cast. Hold on, let me read that sentence again. Choose ye therefore certain mortals, and ordain them through the king, and their labor shall be to cast out evil spirits. It will come to pass in many places where ye dispossess the false lords and their confederates, these evil spirits will inoculate cattle and beasts of burden with poison, and they will die, and the evil spirits will show themselves to the dogs and cause them to howl, and the evil spirits will obsess the swine, which are easily influenced, and the swine will appear drunk and foolish. All of which things ye shall prophesy to mortals beforehand, thereby attesting to the wisdom of the great spirit. And it's interesting how, as we're going over this, I can see all of this in the New Testament. Remember, JC was casting out the spirit of legion into the pigs, the swine that was near. You know, suffer us not to go out, but cast us into the pigs, right? Cast them into the pigs. Pigs went crazy, right? And the evil spirits will obsess the swine. will obsess the swine, which are easily influenced, and the swine will appear drunk and foolish. They went crazy, and then they went off the deep end, right, and drowned in the ocean. After these things, hold on, let me just go back. I'm going to just read all 14 again. It will come to pass in many places where ye dispossess the false lords and their confederates, these evil spirits will inoculate the cattle and beasts of burden with poison. Remember, these evil spirits are humans who have not continued to grow, continued to rise, and came back here to haunt houses and people, right? It will come to pass in many places where ye dispossess the false lords and their confederates, these evil spirits will inoculate the cattle and beasts of burden with poison. With beasts of burden are like beasts that you use to help in like farm, like oxen to farmland. They're beasts that help carry the burdens of the, farming your land and all that stuff. Goats, pack goats carrying luggage, beasts of burden, camels, all that stuff, right? These evil spirits will inoculate the cattle and beasts of burden with poison, and they will die. And the evil spirits will show themselves to the dogs and cause them to howl. And the evil spirits will obsess the swine, which are easily influenced, and the swine will appear drunk and foolish. All of which things ye shall prophesy to mortals beforehand, thereby attesting to the wisdom of the Great Spirit. After these things were accomplished, mortals will say further, Behold, thou son of Jehovah, erst thou came, Apollo told us when to plant and when to reap, when to bring the male and female cattle together. But now that we have put him aside, what shall we do? And ye shall answer them, Come in the starlight, and I will give you the signs, that ye may know these things yourselves. And where ye speak in the oracle, or by entrancement, ye shall point out to them certain stars, and give them the names thereof, and certain groups of stars, with their names also. And ye shall show them the travel of the sun, north, south, and give them a table of Ankh. And in parentheses, after Ankh is zodiac, right? Divided into 12 groups with the 12 lines coming from the sun. Ain't this is amazing, right? So when I started I felt like I was being led to look at like the zodiac, not like the horoscopes, but the actual zodiac signs. And that came in process of me studying the book of Enoch and writing through the book of Luminaries, chapter 72 through 82, the clock in the sky, all this stuff. It was leading me like, go here, look here. I'm like, no, that's of the devil. We're not doing that. Don't you know that's the horoscopes? No, I am not, right? Literally, I was talking to y'all like that. Girl, go look at it. It's not. Listen, I created all things. You know how long he had to talk me into actually going to open up the zodiac stuff? Like the stuff that I post now? Y'all don't know the struggle that I had completely ignoring y'all and telling him, no, I'm not going to go look at that. Girl, you're going to miss a whole great piece if you don't go look at this. Then finally, one day I decided to, okay, I'm going to just take a peek. But, I'm thinking this is you. I keep having these dreams. You're showing me the zodiac in the sky. Like literally, I would have dreams about the zodiac. The mind you, I wouldn't say that. I knew what it was because I heard people talk about it, but I never spent time looking at it. I knew my sign Aries and stuff, all that, but that was the extent of my knowledge, right? But I was having these dreams about it and just the different placements of it. I'm like, why am I dreaming about this? I don't even know if that is true. What? No, I'm not. Until I was like, okay, I'm going to take a peek at it. Father, forgive me. I don't want to be demon possessed. Okay, that's enough. That's Satan trying to pull me in. When I tell you I was foolish, and once I started getting into it and really looking and researching, doing this whole prayer before anytime I open it up, just to make sure I wouldn't get demon possessed, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. This is kind of making sense. And I go back to my dream, look at my dream. Okay, I saw that. What? Wait, what? Wait, let me go to Enoch. Go back to the book of Enoch. Like all of this was happening behind the scenes until I felt comfortable enough. Okay. Then I started coming across, I looked up a few different books that could explain it in a few different ways. And then George Carey's book, Cell Salts and the Zodiac, all those. I was like, wait a minute. So now when I look, and I ran into that same thing when I started posting things in the community section with the oh, you get into the zodiac, you know that's witchcraft, sister. You going? I'm like, see this is what I'm talking about. I know what this. I'm gonna leave them alone. I'm gonna let them go ahead and try and save my soul. But I know how much of a struggle it is because of how we were indoctrinated in the church and telling us to stay away from everything, which keeps us from looking into nothing. They teach you just depend only on Jesus. That's it. That's all you need. When y'all saying, I gave you a brain, use it. That immobilizes you, right? Yo, okay. All right, let me go. Okay, let's go back. Verse 16. Come in the starlight, and I will give you the signs that ye may know these things yourselves. And where ye speak in the oracle or by entrancement, ye shall point out to them certain stars, and give them the names thereof, and certain groups of stars with their names also. And ye shall show them the travel of the sun, north and south, and give them a table of Ankh, zodiac, divided into 12 groups, with 12 lines coming from the sun. And ye shall raise up priests by inspiration and by entrancement, and through them illustrate the position of the of the and the signs of the zodiac, Ankh. And the priest shall explain these things to the unlearned, that they may comprehend of their own language. When these things are accomplished, ye shall inspire the Ehuans to go to the Ehines and ask to be circumcised unto Jehovah. And the Ehines, also being under inspiration, will confess them and bestow them with the sign. Chapter 10, where we at? We at 37 minutes. Y'all want to keep going? It's Saturday. Ooh, we could keep going and possibly, you know what, because we could be done with this today, we just going to keep going. I'm going to just make a decision for everybody. We're going to just keep reading. Because we're in chapter 10, 11, 12, 13. It's 13 chapters and we literally end on page 146. We're on page 142. We're going to keep going. All right. Chapter 10. When Osiris had completed his instructions to his host, he sent messengers to Vibraj, saluting in the name of Jehovah, calling for 1 million more Etherians who came presently, whereupon Osiris divided them into 10,000 groups, giving each group one or more of his attendants whom he had instructed what to do. When all of them were in readiness for the work, Osiris said, Experience hath proven that to dispossess familiar spirits in one place is but to drive them to another. It is wise, therefore, that in the same day ye make the attack in one city or temple, ye shall do so in the principal places all over the earth, giving the familiars no place to fasten upon. Let it be the sign, therefore, of attack in each and every place at the beginning of sunrise on the morrow, and ye shall possess all the temples and places of the oracles and the cities and the kings and queens and rulers and leaders of men, driving hence by stratagem or by force all the false lords and all the spirits professing the name of Apollo or any representative spirit in the name of Apollo or Thor. And immediately will mortals recognize that some change is going on in the unseen world, and they will go to the places of spirit communion, asking for Apollo to explain, and ye shall answer, Apollo is cast out. Hear ye the wisdom of the great spirit Jehovah. And thereafter ye shall instruct them as I have commanded. So it came to pass, as Osiris had decreed, the Etherians drove out the false lords of the earth, and they banished the familiars of all the kings and queens and leaders of men. And the Etherians taught in temples and oracles, and by entrancement, and by inspiration, even as commanded by Jehovah through his son Osiris. But in all places, the Great Spirit's name was made a secret, and it was commanded of mortals that his name should be only spoken in whisper or low breath, because Jehovah speaketh to the soul of man silently. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. I'm going to read that again. But in all places, the Great Spirit's name was made a secret, and it was commanded of mortals that his name should be only spoken in whisper or low breath, because Jehovah speaketh to the soul of man silently. That still, quiet, small voice, right? And these things were established, and this was the first universal teaching of the Great Spirit to mortals, save to the sacred people, the Ehims. And Osiah decreed, one Lord shall ye give to every city an oracle, but every Lord shall profess Jehovah, being his son. And this was also accomplished, and when the people consulted the oracles as to who the Spirit was, the answer was Jehovah, through his Son, Lord of earth, or God of earth. And it was made lawful to use the names Lord and God with audible words, and they were thus used and spoken of by mortals as the substitute of words permissible in public in the name Jehovah. After this, the names Lord and God were worshipful. This is kind of interesting. And I'm looking at this in comparison to the Bibles we have and the introductions and the prefaces and some of the things that they say about this. I'm going to keep on reading. Osiah said, it is an easy matter to rule over kings and queens and prophets and all learned people, but not so easy to rule over the ignorant, who, having been accustomed to worship Apollo through the idols, will long continue to do so. Therefore ye shall cause the kings to issue edicts prohibiting familiar spirits and forbidding soothsayers and workers of magic, but teach ye mortals that these things come of Satan, the evil disposition of men. So that's what they call it. Yeah, I was waiting for them to explain this, why they use Satan. So Satan is the evil disposition of men, not this spooky character we learn about. Because the Bible does it all the way through. It takes terms and makes, now we know every religion does that, right? It takes principles and creates them into characters and men, right? So the evil disposition of men, the evilness, you call Satan, right? Well, in Egypt, they call it Set, right? Set, that's where Satan came from in Egypt, right? Set or Satan is Set, S-E-T, or Satan, S-E-T-I-E-N, or Satan, how they pronounce it in Christianity, S-A-T-A-N. They changed the name of the spelling, but it sounds the same. Satan, Satan, Set. Set, Satan, Satan. Y'all get it. Okay. Verse 9, I read again. Osiah said, it is an easy matter to rule over kings and queens and prophets and all learned people, but not so easy to rule over the ignorant, who, having been accustomed to worship Apollo through the idols, will long continue to do so. Therefore ye shall cause the kings to issue edicts prohibiting familiar spirits and forbidding soothsayers and workers of magic, but teach ye mortals that these things come of Satan, the evil disposition of men. This was also done according to the commandments, and now there was no place left for familiar spirits to obsess mortals, and these spirits distributed themselves after the manner of the spirits of the olden times, some going into swine and living with them, whereupon Osiah commanded his host to inspire the kings and queens to pass laws prohibiting the eating of swine's flesh, lest mortals become bound with fetters. Yo. Listen, okay, so I learned this through learning about the body and what different meats do to the body. And if you ever watch Yaki, y'all ever hear Yaki? He said, man, you got all that flesh in your body and you being mad all the time, right? And this is just completely, your disposition about life and the world completely changes. I'm going to say from my personal experience, when you purge yourself of all flesh, like I wouldn't necessarily say I can classify myself with the people of PETA, PETA, right? I forget what it stands for, but the animal lovers, right? And the tree huggers. But more and more every day, like, okay, so here in the room yesterday, we had the window open and they don't have screens up here. We're up on the 4th floor, right? Listen. So there was this, it was like this fly. Was it a fly or like a bee or something? Babe.
Nah, that was a little bug.
Some kind of little bug like flew in the window. And even my husband, instead of, because you know, I'm like, oh my God, kill that fly, whatever it is, swap it. You know what my husband did? And I thought this was so beautiful watching him do that. He cupped his hand and he did like this and put it back out the window, like gently. I said, oh, that was so nice of you, right? He said, yeah, I was going to kill it, but I chose not to. I was like, but I be getting all sappy like that over animals and stuff now, because I'm like, oh my gosh, these are really like beings. They may not have the ability to communicate like we do intelligently. I'm like, but they have, yeah, they have spirits, they have feelings, and people are eating them and killing them, and like, and it really, like, what? I used to go to the Chinese place all the time. Ain't no telling, we were probably eating dog, cats, and rats. We didn't know, right? But now it's like, oh my gosh, no, don't do that, right? And you know how sometimes they show the commercials and they show, it's almost like they do like, and I hate to see this, you know how over here they showed us these commercials with the children in Ethiopia with stomachs against their back and all we can see is skin and ribs. You know how they do the same commercials with animals that's been abused and stuff? Like, I can't watch it. I'll literally get all teary. I'm like, oh my gosh, how can you treat an animal that way? I'm like, Pam, what is wrong with you? Wait, that's a friggin' dog. That's a cat. We don't like animals, remember? But now it's like, I don't know, it's like, I have such a love for animals and nature and flowers and bees and stuff. It's like, oh, we need to get a beehive when we move into our house. All the bees that help produce honey for the world, right? I'm like, girl, what is you?
Have videos out in the pasture.
Look, I don't know. I was like, babe, we got to set this up outside so I do my videos, you know, outside some mornings, you know. So like, I'm like, wait a minute, what is
doing 2 days?
Like, seriously, something happened. It literally, your whole frequency and vibration changes when you get the flesh out of you, right? Because it literally does change your disposition. You're mad all the time because people are. Listen, remember how I told you this was like maybe a few months back. If people have different issues and stuff going on, even people with anger problems and stuff, all you got to do is a water fast. Not that it's the water that's cleansing you, but it's the not consuming the things that cause you to be that way. You may not make the connection that, oh my gosh, the meats and stuff is making me angry, tearing up my organs. You may not do that particular connection, yeah, all them toxins. You may not be able to put that together. You just knowing you heard that it works. Water fasting will help deliver you even from demon possession. Why will anybody ever thought about that? Why will water fasting deliver people from demon possession? It's amazing once you begin to put the pieces together, right? Because first of all, we ain't supposed to be eating flesh, right? He said, don't kill the humans nor the beasts. Even in here, talks about it. Don't do that. Even though some people are doing it, y'all said my people are not to do that, right? Do not eat the beast. Like they are souls, and although they're different from us, but they're still souls, and they were not meant for human consumption at all. But there is a cleansing of your own spirit and your own flesh, and it lightens you, and all of your senses are turned back on. And it's like, oh my gosh, what have I done? What have we done? Right? All those things are turned back on when you start really living according to the principles of life. First time said so true. The only time I kill a bug is if it surprises me. My reflection was, yeah, your reaction like, oh, what was, yeah. I've done it a couple times. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go back. Okay, but yeah, this is so good. Hold on. Verse 10. This was also done according to the commandments, and now there was no place left for familiar spirits to obsess mortals. And these spirits distributed themselves after the manner of the spirits of the olden times, some going into swine and living with them, whereupon Osiris commanded his host to inspire the kings and queens to pass laws prohibiting the eating of swine's flesh, lest mortals become bound with fetals. Accordingly, this law was established on the earth. Some of the dispossessed spirits went into forests to dwell, and some to the foundations and mixed in waterfalls. Others who were depraved dwelt in fisheries and slaughterhouses, and still others in the kennels with dogs and cats. Nevertheless, there were many mortals who were dealers in magic and witchery, and these had an abundance of familiars. And when such mortals would die, the familiars would go to their sons or daughters, whereupon it was said of them that they inherited the gift of magic. Hold on. I just thought about something my grandma said to me. Let me keep going. Ooh, buddy. Let me read this again. Nevertheless, there were many mortals who were dealers in magic and witchery, and these had an abundance of familiars. And when such mortals would die, the familiars would go to their sons or daughters, whereupon it was said of them, they inherited the gift of magic. Osiris, having overcome the evil spirits, now called a council at Wiankawa, and there came 500,000 angels. Osiris said, in Jehovah's name will I now deliver them I have cast out, and ye shall labor to this end in conjunction with the gods of atmosphere. Behold, I have had the familiars enumerated, and there are more than 6,000 million of them on earth. Ye shall go forth, therefore, into all the divisions of the earth, where they inhabit, and proclaim a great festival to be holden at Wiankawa, inviting them hither. And ye shall provide them conveyance, bringing them across the seas in suitable vessels. For when I have them here congregated, I will destroy the ships, and they cannot return. Sound kind of like what happened right before Pan was destroyed, right? Before Pangea happened. Oh, look. Okay, so I found out something. And I actually found this out by looking at somebody else's video that I just learned about the other day. Y'all heard of Selah Shalom? Apparently, this dude has been reading the OAHSPE for many years, over like 10 years, right? And even when you type in OAHSPE, his channel doesn't necessarily come up, but he's like been there. You got to like type in certain things. But I only heard about him because somebody that comes here, I don't know if they're on yet, Francis, told me the other day, they sent a message and said that there was a debate going on about the OAHSPE with Malachi Maccabee and Selah Shalom TV. So I was like, okay, I heard of Malachi Maccabee. I only heard about him through Yaki, right? Because they did some things together. So I'm like, okay, well, let me check it out. So when I went and I was listening to him, I was like, wow, he's been really studying this, right? Their channel. I'm like, so I went, and yeah, you can see back for many years that they've been going through here, reading through it, breaking it down. I'm like, yo, this is amazing. So a couple of them caught my eye, and I looked at some of them. But one particular one where it talks about the Ring of Fire, because it caught my eye because I was looking into the Ring of Fire, right? So the Ring of Fire is the, if you look at a map, you will see, okay, so if you look at the map with with North America, South America, Africa, like China and stuff. But anyway, okay, so you look at the map, say this is, okay, so it probably look backwards to y'all. So if I'm looking at the map, looking this way, you have North America, South America, and you got this ocean. What is this ocean right here? The Pacific Ocean that separates us from like Africa and the places of, what's it, Atlantic? Okay, the Atlantic Ocean.
California, Pacific.
Okay, so right around here, if you're looking at the map correctly, right? So the ocean right here, apparently that didn't used to be there. Apparently this is going to explain all of this. And the continent of Pan that was sunken, and
You sure you said that right?
yeah, that's okay. So
to Australia being what we used to be able to walk through.
yeah, so I'm looking at the diagram that they were showing of the map and how they put out the Ring of Fire. You know, because it goes like by Japan as well. I'm probably screwing this up, but you're gonna have to look at it. I'm gonna share the video. I'm gonna share the video so you can look at it. It's like 48 minutes with him and this guy talking about the map. And it was explaining where the continent of Pan was. And so remember, when the continent of Pan was sunk, that is the repercussions of the continent of Pan being sunk caused the great deluge over the world. So that's what they was talking about, the great deluge. They talk about the flood that came, but they didn't necessarily, in the Bible, you don't get, or even if you read in Apocrypha, you get like little bits and pieces, but you still realize something is missing if you read it enough and you study it enough. Like, okay, something is still missing. The portion that was missing is that the breaking of the continent of Pan from the earth and submerging it through the vortex and the winds of heaven caused the flood to happen, right? So when it was it explained it up here, but back here is going to get to where it talked about, and it talked about a little bit that we already read, where the force of the amount of force that was needed to break the earth's crust all around the continent, and all the heavenly hosts that kind of like stood all around the continent of Pan. So before they did that, and I say that because what he just did to the fetals, that they removed off the corporal beings, off the humans. They removed all of them and separated them by water, so that he didn't just kill them, but they wanted to restore their souls to get them back on the right path. So all the evil spirits, even all the evil spirits that caused the earth to go crazy while the continent of Pan was still a part of this whole world, because all the land masses were connected with Pan being in the middle. Pan was huge. They said it was like the size of like 10, bigger. A portion of Pan was like the size of 10 of the sizes of the United States, if that makes sense, right? So anyway, when the earth's crust was broken around the continent simultaneously around all sides, the winds from heaven, they call it a vortex above and below, almost like, you know, when you flush a toilet. They explain this a little bit. Like when you flush a toilet, you know how you see the little vortex and the water goes down? There was a vortex that was upside down, looked like an upside down tornado, that pushed the continent of Pan down, sink to the depths of the universe, never to rise again. But with the power and the force of that continent sinking, it caused tsunamis to go in like all directions, so to speak, and cause the flooding of the rest of the continents, hence the great deluge, right? So all this happened simultaneously, the great flood and Pangea, right? And remember, sometimes you hear different people talk about Pangea, saying, well, all the earth land masses used to be connected and all these oceans. There's a little bit of truth in that. But what they left out is that used to be connected by Pan. When Pan or Pangea happened, it caused the separation and the breaking up of the continents by water. Yeah, it's so good. We're going to read through this.
This Joe got a 67 Impala.
I'm over here talking about the Great Delusion. You talking about a 67 Impala.
Yo,
you want to go see it?
I'm about to go see this journey.
Okay, let me finish this.
Back in, I'm telling you, I've been looking for one for about 3 years.
Okay. All right, y'all, let me finish this. Where we at? Oh, we're going to finish this. Wait for me, because I want to go see it, too.
No, you talking about what you talking about?
Let me finish.
Immaculate. Garage kept ain't nothing wrong with it.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish.
That much for it.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish. All right, what was I at? Hold on. Okay. I'll go back to verse 12. Osiris said, in Jehovah's name will I now deliver them I have cast out, and ye shall labor to this end in conjunction with the gods of atmosphere, Behold, I have the familiars enumerated, and there are more than 6,000 million of them on earth. Ye shall go, therefore, into all the divisions of the earth, where they inhabit, and proclaim a great festival to be holden in Weonkawa, inviting them hither. And ye shall provide them conveyance, bringing them across the seas in suitable vessels. For when I have them here congregated, I will destroy the ships, and they cannot return. This was accomplished, and more than 5,000 million spirits came to the festival, where were provided for them food and also clothes of fantastic colors to please the eye of the ignorant. And after they were provided in decency, they were entertained in music and dancing, they themselves being taught to take part. So this is what they're doing to all the evil spirits. And this is so great what I've learned about this, right? Because we kind of have teachers in church. It's like, okay, we just cast the demons and the devil out, cast Satan out, and that's it. We go on about our life. But what we're not taught is who these spirits really are, right? And that y'all doesn't like, boom, you just go to hell and burn forever. No, because we were ignorant of who these spirits actually were. We didn't realize that there was a regeneration for them to come out of the state of evilness that they've been in, right? So my whole thinking about all this spirituality is like changing every day. Listen, this was accomplished, and more than 5,000 million spirits came to the festival, and were provided for them food and clothes of fantastic colors to please the eye of the ignorant. And after they were provided in decency, they were entertained in music and dancing, and they themselves being taught to take part. For 70 days the festival lasted, and every day varied from another. And the multitude became so intoxicated with delight and withal, so broken off from their old habits and associations, that they forgot all about the ships and the conveyance. Osiris spake to his council privately, saying, Provide ye an orator large enough for all these people. And see, even talking about them now, people, not calling them fetals and familiars, for these people. Yeah, surely the spirituality is deeper than any religion. We are spiritual beings first and foremost. Yes. Osiris spake to his council privately, saying, Provide ye an orator large enough for all these people. I will show you what shall happen. So whilst the festival was going on, the proper workmen built the vessel, and its capacity was sufficient to carry all the multitude of spirits, besides a sufficiency of regimen for them on a long journey. Now, after the festival had lasted 70 days, for 70 days, Osiris proclaimed order that he might speak unto them. He said, brothers and sisters, call them brothers and sisters, not demons and satanic spirits. Brothers and sisters, this is amazing to me. Brothers and sisters, in the name of the Great Spirit, greeting to you all. I am about to depart to a higher world, that ye may hear my voice. I proclaim order, that ye may rejoice in my words. I speak in love and tenderness. My home is in a world far away, where there is no suffering, no sorrow, and the spirit of my people is radiant with light. I would tell you of the beauty and glory of my home, but it would not be just to you. You would no longer be content to remain here. So I seal up my mouth. I'm gonna how to use that. So I seal up my mouth. Because he suffered. Yeah, so I seal up my mouth. I'm gonna use that with you, Mr. Murphy. But ye suffered, and my soul was full of pity. I made this festival. The Great Spirit taught me how to make food and clothes, and to travel far, and be not afraid. All the people where I live can hear the voice of the Great Spirit. They learn all things by first learning to hear him. Ooh, that's beautiful. They learn all things by first learning to hear him. His wisdom supplieth every want. It will be a long time before I come again. My heart of love will come back to you. The time of the festival is ended. Your time is come to return to your old places. These lords of yours, which you have had so long, may provide you. Almost at once, when Osiris began to speak, the people desired to go whither he would decree, and when he suggested for them to return to their former lords, who were also present, they answered with a universal shout, "Nay, never more with them." Osiris said, I perceive ye desire to go with me and my host. I have learned to understand the souls of people, but do ye understand me? I mentioned the great glories in my heavens, but I did not tell you we work to make them. Yea, we work every day. The Great Spirit made the Great Spirit made the tree to get its food and clothes without labor, but behold, it hath no power to travel. Some things in the world labor not, but man who hath neither feathers nor hair to cover his body is provided with talents. Jen, you funny. I just saw your comment. Hold on. Hold on. Some things in the world labor not, but man who hath neither feathers nor hair to cover his body is provided with talents. Talents are the greatest of all gifts. The air and the ground provide the substance of fruit and foliage to the tree, but the spirit who has talent can find the substance of the fruit and foliage in the air and gather it. Lights of various colors were now being set up by the Etherians, and the place enriched with the most enticing perfumes. Osiris proceeded, by the cultivation of talent, all things are possible unto all men and women. With the sufficiency of talent, ye need no lords or oppressive rulers. Y'all hear that? Y'all don't need nobody ruling over you. All you need is the wisdom of the great creator, right? And your talents to move you about this place and get it popping, whatever you need, right? Look. Osiris proceeded, by the cultivation of talents, all things are possible unto all men and women. With a sufficiency of talent, ye need no lords or oppressive rulers. I mentioned the great beauties in my Etherian home. Ye go to the spray of fountains and disport yourselves in rainbows, but ye are in a small corner, at best, and the substance of your joys are in perpetual failure. Behold the sprays and bows made by my hosts. Hear the music played in the elements of their handiwork. The hosts here overcast the entire multitude with the vapor of the air, converted into millions of kaleidoscopic pictures, and filled with the place with the music of wind currents trained to tunes. Tunes, tunes, Tunes. Let me say that again, because y'all might not understood what I said, because the words is kind of running together to me. Okay, the host here overcast the entire multitude with the vapor of the air, converted into millions of kaleidoscopic pictures, and filled the place with the music of the wind currents, currents, current, like ocean currents. Filled the place with the music of wind currents trained to tunes. The hosts were overjoyed beyond measure. Again, Osiris said, hear me yet further. The festival must cease. Ye forget, I told you I must go. My marshals will now conduct me and my host to my fire ship. As for ye, my heart is broken. I know the toil and the hardships put upon you, but if ye desire these things, they are yours. The universal shout was, we will go with thee. Take us in your fire ship. Teach us how to improve our talents. Osiris said, what will the lords do? Shall they remain without subjects? But the false lords answered quickly, we will also go with thee and be servants to do thy bidding. He said, take all us. Don't leave none of us here. We don't want them as slaves. We don't want to be their masters. They want to go. We want to go too. We all want to go. Teach us. Take us. Let us go too. We will all go with thee and be servants to do thy bidding. Osiris said, when I am on the ship, I will answer. So he departed and he went into the aerator, to the side of which his own fire ship was made fast. And presently he commanded all those who chose to come aboard, and lo and behold, the whole of them, even more than 5,000 million, went in. Osiris at once commanded the ascent, and thus he delivered them high up in atmosphere, where his proper officers had already provided a plateau of habitation for them, and the name of the plateau was Asan, signifying no escape. For here Osiris decreed to have them educated and purged from evil, nor was it possible for them to return to the earth of their own power and learning. Let me tell you something. His trickery, Osiris' trickery, I ain't gonna say it's trickery, but I say wisdom, right? His wisdom in getting them to see that you don't really want to be down there on earth, right? Because, you know, I mean, he could have said it this way, but this is essentially what he was saying. You don't really want to be down there because down there you're treated like the scum of the earth. You got the humans, you know, making you do magic tricks and stuff. And you will gladly turn into it and do whatever they want for them. Bring them whatever they want so you can get what you want from them, right? You want to inhabit a body. So you do all this for them and then they give you a body to inhabit. You don't really want to live like that. You know, I got a party. All y'all, all evil party in my place, right? All the eagles invited to Osiris' place that he done prepared. Them not realizing that all of this was a big setup, right? All of this was the biggest setup to just get them away from the earth anyway and transport them to the place they should have gone when they passed away from the earth. But they didn't want to leave, right? So when they passed away, they decided to linger around, and thus they just went further down and just became like the scum of the earth, demon spirits or whatever. But to restore them to a place where they could continue to grow, he literally had to put on a show, a play for them to, first of all, get their attention. Ooh, what's that? Pretty lights, a party, let's go. You providing everything, clothing, he's pretty, you see, he giving everybody pretty clothes, bright colors and stuff. He said he gave them bright colors to entice the eyes of the ignorant, right? They completely ignorant of what's happening to them, right? But they made a choice of their own free will. He's like, listen, I'm about to go. And you can't go back here. Well, take all of us with you. Well, you know, if you come, you can't come back. That's okay. We don't want to serve them and we don't want to rule them. Take us with you. Okay, if everybody can fit on my ship, get on the ship. Let's go. Right? So when he got up here, and it said he took them to a place that was already prepared for them beforehand, already set up this place, right? And named the place of no return. Like, you can't leave from this place. They was like, let's go. Wherever you say go, we're going to go. Without fighting with them, struggling, choking them around the neck. We need to get you off the earth so the earth people can grow. He ain't had to do all that. He used wisdom and enticed them, and they chose to go, right? Cunning, craftiness, wisdom, right? So by wisdom, they all chose to leave the earth, right? They moved from this first heaven and they went up to, like, I guess it was like above, like at the second heaven or whatever. So there they could be reformed and cleansed of all the evil ways and all the stuff they've been doing, right? And growth cycle can continue happening for everybody. That was good. But I think we're going to pause right here, y'all.
She gonna get left.
Because he moved.
I'm moving back. I feel like I'm going to see this thing. Been wanting this thing for some years.
Okay, so we're going to pause right here.
My color, but
You can always get a paint job.
yeah, she gonna be starting black.
Look, hold on. Okay, so we pause right here and we'll pick it up with chapter 11 tomorrow. All right, y'all. So that is it for today. We're at an hour, 14 minutes. All right, so it is Saturday, May 28th, 2022, day 120 of year 4, reading through the books of the Law and the Prophets. Another 4-year consecutive day count, day 1138, and we read pages 139 through 143 in the OAHSPE today. I hope y'all enjoyed the reading. I surely did. I'll see y'all back here not tomorrow. Tomorrow we are observing the Sabbath. I see y'all back here Monday. We can probably take a little extra long Monday too, because it's Memorial Day. So most of y'all, if y'all work for somebody else, y'all ain't got to go to work, possibly, maybe. We'll be here. So we'll probably go over the hour mark on Monday too, right? Okay. So I see y'all back here Monday. May y'all continue to bless you all in all that you do. May all that you've learned up to this point be helpful to you in your growth. May you learn how to decipher truth from error and all those things that you need to hold on to just a little bit longer till you get the matching pieces for it. Keep it in your bag. Keep it on the table. May y'all bless you with the let's see, what can I ask him to bless you all with today? Because I always ask him to bless you with peace and understanding. I know. May he bless you all with a sense of humor, to be able to laugh at yourself when you realize you've done something wrong. May embarrassment disintegrate, even if you've taught something that is completely backwards. And may you be able to, you know what, I did that. May you be able to fess up, yo, I screwed this up. Let me get this corrected. I was wrong. May all embarrassment be disintegrated from your life, because embarrassment will stunt your growth. May y'all bless you with a sense of humor to laugh at yourself, right? And be able to let that laughter heal your own soul. Remove all things that shouldn't be there and continue to roll on in your growth, right? All right, y'all. Because you see, I had to do that because I know I done chopped and screwed up a lot of stuff. I had to come out, wait a minute, y'all. This was wrong. Oops. Hey. You remember when I had said, yeah, so I was wrong. I didn't know. I was fooled and I completely thought I was right and I was hyping y'all up. I was wrong. Forgive me. We got to get this right, right? A sense of humor will keep you on the path of light, because you can laugh at yourself and you realize how foolish you had been. But you're absolutely awed at the grace that the great Creator shows you when you are as backwards as a pair of Drawlz that you put on in the dark. I think, y'all, that he is not like human people who is ready to cast you out into utter darkness when you make a mistake, right? I truly thank y'all for that, right? So it makes learning and continuing on in this path, in this journey in truth, it makes it that much more exciting, because we know that even if we get off, they right there waiting for us at a certain point. Okay, so you got off down there a little bit. Okay, let's go back, go fix this, and then we'll bring you back up to speed, and you can skip over this part, right? We'll help you out. We watch you. We got you, G. We got your back, right? So may y'all bless you with a sense of humor today, right? In your path of growth and spiritual learning. All right, so that's it, y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all back here Monday morning, bright and early. We should do 7:30 Monday because it's a federal national holiday. Y'all want to do 7:30? I'll probably still be here at 7:15. Probably running a few minutes late still. So we'll probably be starting by 7:30 anyway. But anyway, I'll see y'all back here Monday morning, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. Oh, come on and end it, baby girl. I thought you had dozed back off to sleep. Much love, everybody. Kimber, Matt, Jen, you're welcome. First time. I know. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead and end it. All right. Uh-oh. Can you see that? There you go. End it. Bye, YouTube. Facebook.